If you've got poor occupancy, really that boils down to one of two fundamentally different things. Either the phone's not ringing in the first place, which is an inquiry problem, or people are actually arriving at the care home and for whatever reason they're not finding what they like and they're disappearing off down the road and going to a competitor. Essentially, if you've got any sort of occupancy problems, it boils down to one of those two things. So whenever we sit down and work with a client, we've got to decide which of those two things is the real problem before we start fixing it. In this particular case, it was rather unfortunate because the home had both of those problems. Not only did they have not enough inquiries, but also when people came to the home, they didn't like what they find. It was looking rather tired and sorry for itself at the time. Now, here's a little fancy pants diagram to illustrate this in a little bit more detail. Now, every business, it doesn't matter whether it's a care home or any other type of business, has what we call an outside perception and an inside reality. Now, the outside perception is what we present to the world, the sort of image that we present to the world. And in terms of marketing, you can be totally in control of that outside image. You can make it exactly what you want to make it. Each business has also got an inside reality, and that means once you step over the threshold, what do you actually find? How good are you at actually providing the level of care, the level of service that your service users are coming to expect? I just tell you a very quick story. A year ago we moved into a new little village just by a local town, and as always happens when you move into new places, somebody came round and pushed a leaflet through the letterbox, and it was for a takeaway, a Chinese takeaway. And the leaflet was beautifully presented, and it showed this wonderful, enormous building for this Chinese restaurant to be in. It looked like a sort of Chinese temple. And so we decided, oh yes, this looks fantastic. We'll go down there and actually have a meal. When we got into the town, it was down a little back street, and there was a crummy little building which was falling to pieces. The paint was peeling off. We got in there, we opened the door, took one look at the place, and that was it. We turned around and left again. Now that's a perfect example of how you can create whatever sort of outside perception you want, but the inside reality has got to match up with it when you get there. If you have a look at this diagram, you'll find that your care home or your business will fall into one of these four different quadrants. The one we want to be in is the green square, where the outside perception and the inside reality match each other and they're both good. Where you don't want to be is where Rose Lodge was when I got there, which was where they had a poor outside reality and a poor internal perception. So if we relate that back, the two orange squares, they're the two occupancy problems. If you've got a poor outside perception, that's when the phone stops ringing. You're not presenting the right sort of image to the world. If you're not converting inquiries, that's down to the internal side of things, where people get to your home, they're not actually finding what they like. Okay? So, how do you go about changing these things?